question. An organization has a cybersecurity team. In effect, it's putting together a whole program of cybersecurity. What should be the components of a good cybersecurity program for compliance purposes? And so my answer to that question draws from major laws in this area, such as Gramm-Leach-Bliley and HIPAA in the United States, the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe. And as I look at those laws, I see major themes that the policymakers, the lawmakers have gravitated to. An important major theme is to identify a responsible officer and give that officer the appropriate authority within an organization to make things happen for cybersecurity and privacy purposes. So, for example, an organization might identify a chief information security officer and make sure that that security officer has the authority and resources to truly take the steps that are necessary to protect that organization from cybersecurity threats. Another very important theme from these compliance laws around the world is to adopt a risk-based approach to cybersecurity. So a risk-based approach means that the organization evaluates or assesses risks and even documenting to the appropriate degree. We have assessed these different kinds of risks, and based on our assessment of the risks, we are now logically implementing these safeguards. Higher risks justify more effort for safeguards. And so the types of risks that might apply to a hospital, for example, could be very different from the kinds of risks that might apply to a public housing authority. And so a question that people ask is, how do I understand which risks are more important? And that can include a lot of factors, but an important factor for understanding which risks are more important is to use human sensibilities. And human sensibilities, for example, might inform a cyber defender that, I'm protecting a public housing authority, and as a human being who's understanding these people who live in public housing, I've come to understand what really they care about. They care about physical postal address. They care about locking that down because they consider, some of them, it a stigma to be in public housing, and they don't want the outside world to know about this, and therefore I, cyber defender, realize the physical postal address of an individual is a very sensitive piece of information. Therefore, I need to put a lot of effort into protecting that information. So, among the different kinds of risks that cyber defenders should be evaluating as they are implementing their program for cybersecurity include risks to reputation of the organization, risks to the operations of the organization, risks to customers or constituents, and those can include the risks of identity theft or stalking. But maybe for other organizations, risks related to cybersecurity could ultimately have an impact on the environment, that is like climate emissions and other environmental types of concerns. But yet for other kinds of organizations that might be part of critical infrastructure, for example, the risks, the larger risks might be social risks, the risk to society or the risk to a city if critical infrastructure like a water treatment plant is attacked in some kind of a cyber attack. So these risks will vary from one organization to the next, but ultimately, I think I'll argue that a stronger cybersecurity program will be one that is informed by risk, and therefore it's more likely to be in compliance with whatever laws, rules, and regulations might apply to the organization. I teach a 5-day course at the SANS Institute. The name of that course is Legal 523, The Law of Data Security and Investigations. You can learn more about that at sans.org. You can also learn more about me and my practice of law at benjaminwright.us. Here in this video, I've given some ideas that can help to address legal compliance or legal risk. Obviously, through this video, I'm not your lawyer, and if you need legal advice, you need to go hire a lawyer to give you specific legal advice. This video is only for public education.